He went off to serve overseas. He was the victim of a roadside bomb and traumatic brain injury. After more than a year in the Veterans Hospital system, they had all but given up on Eric and what he might be able to achieve. But there was one person who never gave up, and that's the man who stands behind him, his father.
My name is Ed Edmondson. I'm the father of Eric Edmondson. 4 years ago, while serving on a combat mission in northern Iraq, an IED ended Eric's life as he knew it. He came home from Iraq, severely injured, extremely challenged. He, his young wife, 8-month-old daughter at that time, were faced with a life of uncertainty and fear. His mother and I made the decision out of love and because we understand those that can best care for the wounded warriors coming out of this war today are those that love them, know them, and want the best for them. I resigned my job, took my savings, retirement, to burn down our debt load so that we may stay home and aid Eric and his family in trying to get back the life that they lost and so much wanted in return to.
We spend millions of dollars, as we should, for those who are injured in our veterans' hospitals and clinics. The caregiver bill, with Chairman Akaka wants to bring to the floor for a vote, will give a helping hand to families like the Edmondsons who have been through this. They need a helping hand to make sure they have the right training so they can change dressings and give an IV if necessary or injection to help their soldier out of bed and into a wheelchair and back again. Just the basics, the training they need. Second, a stipend to help them through. That's something that's very critical for them. And finally, some respite care so that Ed and Mary Beth can take a little time off once in a while and recharge the batteries and return back home to help Eric in his struggle. I don't think it's too much to ask. It's not too much to ask on this Veterans Day in 2009 that this bill come to the floor, that we have a debate and a vote. One senator has stopped us.
The senator is blocking legislation to improve care for wounded warriors, their caregivers, their also rural veterans, women veterans, and homeless veterans. These are being blocked by that senator. And the senator says it's too expensive. When we vote to send troops to war, as the Congress did, and this member voted for it, we must pay to take care of those who return wounded.
Frankly, the cost of war is not just the bombs and the bullets. It's the responsibility to bear the burden of those who have suffered, to help them bear that burden. And today we're here simply to say, well, we want to support the families like the Edmondsons. We want them to feel that their government did not take their son or daughter into uniform, discharge them, and forgot them.
We have people who are suffering, caregivers. Would we be better off, this young man, in some kind of a convalescent center someplace and his parents off someplace else? The answer is no. The caregiver legislation recognizes that a person can get loving, good care at home. That's what this is all about. I have no ability to comprehend the illogic of Dr. Coburn.
I hope that he gets past whatever it is that's holding him up on this legislation and remembers the women veterans, remembers stories like Ed and Eric, remembers the thousands of people who have served our country honorably, and will allow us to move this forward so that our veterans will truly be honored on Veterans Day.
My son, as well as the thousands of other injured service members coming home from this war, cannot sacrifice anymore. My wife and I, as caregivers, cannot sacrifice anymore. This time is desperate. The need is desperate. I urge you, I ask you, I beg you to get the caregiver bill passed.